Ho, Kwe. Nigatu Gosisi Miktije Bitiluisi. Dimigamawisk. My spirit name is Thunderbird Turtle Woman, and I am a Mi'kmaq woman from here in northeast coast of what we call Turtle Island, North America. And so I'm thinking about the students that are out there now. They can't go to school. All of you can't be in school, even though you're taking courses online. So I guess this is part of that, doing this online. And what I'd like to maybe just talk about a little bit today, since I can't be in the classrooms and you can't be in the classrooms, is how our people shared stories. Our people, we believe we have been here since time immemorial, that the Creator placed us here on Turtle Island, North America. And so our history, our traditions, we're an oral-based tradition, and our stories are handed down generation to generation through storytelling. And it wasn't recorded. We didn't have written libraries. Our stories and knowledge was preserved through storytelling, writings on the rocks like petroglyphs, pictographs, prophecies. And so maybe just to share a little bit about prophecies. Our people knew that light-skinned people were going to arrive on our shores. We knew this. We knew that many colors of races of men were going to arrive, but we knew and that before that happened, our people, the Mi'kmaq, our ancestors had to take our sacred objects and sacred teachings inland to be protected until it was time, until it was safe. Because our ancestors knew, they were guided to know through ceremony, through vision, that there was going to be an onslaught on our culture. And it was going to be that our ways, it was not going to be safe to practice these ways, our ways of ceremonies, our ways of the smudge, our songs. And so it was taken out west and until it was time, until it was safe. And so here we are today. Our ways are back with us. We're able to practice our ceremonies freely without being put in jail, because unfortunately a lot of our grandfathers, grandmothers, great-great-grandfathers, great-great-grandmothers, they would be in danger if they were caught practicing our ways. But one thing that has really never left our people is our storytelling. That these stories would not be stories like once upon a time kind of stories. The stories would mostly be about stories about survival. For example, stories were shared in the winter time when it was really cold outside and not much to do. So they would sit inside the wigwams or the teepees out west, and they would share stories. And these stories of survival would be, for example, let's say this elder was sharing how maybe him and his brother were fishing through the ice in the winter, and a blizzard came up, and maybe they fell through the ice. How did they survive that? Or if they got lost in the woods, and they would share an actual experience, or something that was handed down to them from their grandfather or grandmother, and they would share how they survived, what they had to do in order to live through that experience. These are the kind of stories that I'm talking about, that they had to have meaning, and they had to have a moral and a value to these stories. And as the people sat around, as the children sat around hearing these stories, they would never forget them, because each year they were shared. Our creation stories were also shared in this way. Every tribe, every First Nation across the land, across Turtle Island, they have creation stories of how we were created. And within those creation stories are teachings. And teachings to us are very important, very sacred. You can't learn everything all in one day. The teachings are many, 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 many. And by the way, we have many teachers. For example, myself, I've traveled through many tribes throughout the United States, Canada. I've been to different countries, and I've had a lot of teachers. I've had the good fortune of learning from medicine people. And so the teachings that they shared with me, I just feel grateful that I have those. a lot of things we can't share. We can't put on video because it's too sacred. So, but our stories are very important in that they were oral based. Those pictographs, writings on the rocks, petroglyphs that you see, our ancestors left those for a reason, knowing that someday that their descendants would be able to go there and to light a smudge and to pray and to find out what were these stories that they were trying to hand down to us. What were the prophecies? A lot of times the prophecies were warnings of things to come and how to prepare when those things happen. So still to this day, we still share those stories. For example, the kind of stories that I share are personal spiritual stories that really happened to me. And people have to trust you when you do that, because you have to always be honest. I would never share a spiritual story if it didn't really happen to me, or that I wasn't there when somebody shared their spiritual story. You have to always be honest and true, and then the people will trust you. And so storytelling, this telling of stories handed down generation to generation, is very, very important to our people. And as long as the stories are here, the stories are etched in the land, in the spirit of the land. The stories are etched within our very being, within our DNA. They're in us, they're running our bloodline. They're there, and they will survive for the future generations. It's just like we survived after many generations, no matter what happened. We're still here, and we believe that as long as we continue in our ceremonies, and as long as we continue to respect and to care about one another, to share with one another, that we will always be here. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.